the channel. Well, I want to just go ahead and draw your attention to this quick before we go to the live broadcast here where they're talking about what's going on. The Civil Defense has downgraded this between 1 to 3 meters now for what could still occur for wavelength. I'm not going to go into all this because I want to catch all this here, so I just want to show you this. The links are in the Show More section below. One second here. Here is also the video of the emergency management giving a press conference. That is also in the Show More section below. So with that, let's go ahead and get started.
Real candidates.
It went really well.
Real employers.
And right now we happen to be on a commercial break, and I closed out of everything. So I do apologize for that, folks, but we'll just go ahead and bear with that until everything gets started back up again.
Quality, control, or maybe you're driven by style, by the details. Yeah, all that. But what drives the new you? You're not a follower. You're driven by tomorrow, by the moment, by the here and now. Drive the new Kia Sorento and drive the new you.
Feeling caught out by high credit card interest rates? Introducing New Zealand's Fair Rate credit card with the lowest bank rate for both purchases and cash withdrawals. Fair Rate, no catch. Apply for the Fair Rate credit card online.
Make it a Mitre 10 Christmas with everything you need to get ready for the holidays. Light up your home, transform your outdoors, and get ready for entertaining. We've got gifts for DIYers, gardeners, and the kids. Or if you can't decide, get a gift card and make this Christmas a Mitre 10 Christmas.
We love our babies and pets so much we can't help spoiling them. My new Bartholomew here is lactose intolerant, so no whipped cream for him. And Snuggles can only have fish caught on the line with no bones. And then there's baby Frederick Jr. the Third. He does yoga. Oh, very nice downward-facing dog. Our babies and pets have got it good. Time you had it good too with some ridiculously low prices at Pack and Save's Baby and Pet Weeks. Come on down and spoil them to your heart's content. Not that they'll ever say thank you.
Right now at Feds R Us, there's 50%.
I do apologize for all the commercials, folks, and how this ended up working out. I wasn't expecting it to happen this way, but sometimes we just gotta kind of go with the flow here and be patient for things to start broadcasting.
Does this really require all of us?
Come on, Mum asked us to do this.
Hey, that's my marble. Whose hand is that? Tom's is the little one.
I was a duck. Guys, what is that? Back to bed.
Oh, what is it?
Welcome back. It's 7:45 and you're joining us for extensive coverage of the massive earthquake that's hit New Zealand, 7.5 magnitude. It occurred 15 kilometres northeast of Calverton in the South Island at a depth of 15 kilometres around midnight. The extent of the damage in Kaikoura is becoming clearer. We have these aerial pictures just in. This house has entirely collapsed, and a landslip is covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. A massive, massive landslip. There's the picture of it there. Huge. Absolutely huge. A 7-person urban search and rescue team is on its way from Christchurch in a helicopter. We believe they're on the ground, actually, to assist with the emergency response there. Military helicopters have also been deployed to help. We do know that the Tom's homestead on State Highway 1 in Kaikoura has collapsed, killing one person. Earlier this morning, another person was pulled from the rubble alive. And we do know that there's been another earthquake-related fatality. A person is reported to have died after suffering a heart attack. We just spoke earlier to the Civil Defence head in Kaikoura, who also reported that buildings had collapsed in Mount Lyford. So there will be more details come out of the area as they're able to get more helicopters and more search and rescue personnel on the ground. Here's the latest information that you need to know. As we just mentioned, an urban search and rescue team is expected to arrive in Kaikoura shortly to assess the damage there. The coastal town currently has no water or sewerage. A person has been confirmed dead in a building collapse there. And there's been another quake-related death, as I said, in Mount Lyford after someone suffered a heart attack. Schools and early childhood centres from North Canterbury right through to Wellington will be closed until the buildings have been checked by officials. Today's university exams have also been postponed in the capital and Manawatu. Wellington residents are being advised not to go into the CBD today, with all train services cancelled. Kiwi Rail has also suspended services. All trains on the North Island main trunk line south of Palmerston North and in the South Island have been cancelled until further notice. Cook Strait ferries are also cancelled all day, with damage at Wellington and Picton wharves being assessed right now. The Fire Service says TSB Arena in Wellington and the BNZ Centre on Wellington's waterfront have sustained the most damage. I also want to update you on NCEA exams. This is very important too, because these students have worked very hard. There are at least 6 or 7 exams on today. And if you go to school from Christchurch through to Wellington, the Ministry of Education gave us some earlier advice, which is that there are not blanket closures of all those schools. It will be on a case-by-case basis. Okay, so if you live in that area from Christchurch to Wellington and you're due to sit NCEA exams, you need to contact your school, because each school is going to make its own decision on whether you're going to sit those exams today, whether the buildings are safe for you to sit those exams. And the ministry was keen for you students, I know, who'll be getting up and going, but I studied so hard, what's going to happen now? They have a special way of grading you. They will work in with your schools. So, you know, it's a tough time, we know that, but you will get the grade that you deserve. So just don't stress about it, okay? Everything will be okay. Right, Kaikoura MP Stuart Smith joins us now. And Stuart, what are you hearing on the ground in Kaikoura?
I didn't get as far south as Kaikoura this morning, unfortunately. I left here, timed my departure to allow for a bit of daylight the further south I got, because I knew the road would be a bit questionable. If you look on my Facebook, you'll see why we couldn't get any further than Turahanga Flat. There's a massive crack in the road and a cracking. In fact, it goes for at least 30 metres, and it'll take quite a bit of work to repair that. There are trucks all the way along that have gone as far as they can. We came across one. It's got a flat battery now and can't get started. They were evacuated for when the tsunami warning came out, but and now the truck won't start. But
Stuart, we are seeing pictures right now of a massive slip. I mean, it is a massive slip across State Highway 1 that is effectively going to cut off your community for some time.
Yes, it is. State Highway 1's quite tenuous along that along the coast and through the Hundalee, so it's always going to be a risk. You know, I also saw the bridge abutments are compromised on a number of the bridges that we went over. I've got a four-wheel drive car, a Hyundai Santa Fe. If you'd had a smaller car, you wouldn't nearly have got as far as I got down the road. But there are slips all the way along as well. So it's going to be quite a bit of work to get it open again. So I stopped in to Seddon and talked to the school community that a number of them spent the night sleeping on the decking at the school outside. Some of them slept inside. They came together really, I guess, for community spirit and comfort. And I also stopped in at Ward where the community had got together and put some gazebos up outside to get and seek shelter together. there is some questions there about the water. I think their tanks have been extensively damaged, so whether they're going to have access to water, but the Marlborough District Council, I'm sure, will have that in hand. I haven't spoken to the Chief Executive since I got back from there.
Your community has just had such a terrifying experience, and we can see from the pictures that we've seen again this morning that an historic homestead has collapsed, that one person has perished there. There's been another in the region who's died of a quake-related heart attack. I mean, as the local MP, this is as bad as it gets.
Yes, it's a difficult time. I mean, but the community is coming together, and thoughts go out to the family involved with those fatalities. It's it's terrible that it should happen, but we really just have to deal with what's in front of us now. But the community is coming together. I've had an offer of the use of a helicopter should I need it. The people are really getting in behind and one another and supporting one another, and that's really the measure of a community.
And what's your message to everyone in Kaikoura who's listening in right now?
I think just keep calm and carry on. I think that's all you can do. All the authorities are working really well together. I was at the Civil Defence headquarters in the very early hours of this morning, and that's a really good team there, headed up by Richard McNamara here in Marlborough. I haven't been able to get a hold of Winton Daly, the mayor, in Huranui, further south. My electorate goes right down to Hamner Springs, includes Hamner Springs, Amberley, Cheviot. All those areas are part of my patch as well, but flying's probably the only way to get down to those areas at the moment.
Yeah, and is that your intention today, to get down to those areas?
Yeah, one way or another. Either if the official party goes down, I'll go that way, or I can, as I said, I've got access to a helicopter, which I'll do if I have to.
Kaikoura MP Stuart Smith, thank you for your time this morning, and our thoughts are with you for the rest of the day. Let's go live now to Sam Clark in Christchurch, who's been at a refuge centre this morning, and Christchurch residents coming together and doing what they do well, which is supporting one another.
That's right, Hilary. A lot of people came together here at the Linwood Evacuation Centre. It's now dwindled in numbers. It was up above 300 earlier this morning. It's now down to just less than 60 who can't yet go home. Now, interestingly, this hall where most of the people took their refuge was actually set up for some of those NCEA students to take their exams today. We now know that here at Linwood College, those exams won't take place. But it's important to note that that is not a blanket cancellation for all across the country. You will need to check whether your exams are on by a school basis. But ultimately, the feeling here with the people who are left is that adrenaline has ultimately given way to fatigue, and many are waiting to get back home. Areas like North Beach and New Brighton, those areas that are less than a kilometre from the coast, are still restricted to the public. So these people are more than waiting to get back home, and for the lucky ones, get back to bed.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Just an update from Civil Defence here. It is not yet safe, as Sam said, for people to return home in coastal areas between Blenheim and Banks Peninsula and the Chathams. So although it's been downgraded, that tsunami alert, in other areas of the country, it is not yet safe for people to return home in coastal areas between Blenheim, Banks Peninsula and the Chathams. That's the latest information there. Well, Kim Savage is in Wellington. And Kim, what's the latest you have from Civil Defence HQ?
Yes, so as you can see behind me, I'm at the National Crisis Management Centre, which has been open since the early hours of this morning. Officials, experts from GNS Science here as well, people from all sorts of government departments have really gathered here, including the Acting Civil Defence Minister, Jerry Brownlee, to really go over what's happened and actually plan going forward now. And actually just a few floors above me, in fact, some members of the public have managed to spend the night here in the Beehive. They were evacuated from hotels in the Central Business District, and we were just walking through there a few moments ago and saw people sort of rising from their slumbers, not looking like they've had a whole lot of sleep, to be honest, and sort of crawling out of their sleeping bags and walking out into the sunlight, and I imagine probably wondering, what on earth this has happened in this night. It's been absolutely unbelievable.
So Parliament showing the community spirit too and putting people up for the night. What a unique experience.
Absolutely, and again, as I said, we've just walked through there, and I saw they were serving tea and coffee. So they were, rolling out the red carpet for the visitors to Wellington and people who really needed somewhere to stay, after the night's events. So we'll see more from the government today and hear more from them, of course. John Key spoke this morning, talked about his plans for today. Cabinet will meet as usual, and no doubt himself and Jerry Brownlee will be briefing other ministers too on the events that have taken place and what the plan is going forward. They are considering taking a plane down to some of the worst affected areas, Kaikoura, of course, being one of them. And as we know, access to that area has been very difficult, so has communication. So actually getting information about what's happening there has been a real struggle. They'll be hoping to get in there as soon as possible.
Kim, thank you so much for that update. The Ministry of Education just been in contact just to reiterate that all North Canterbury schools are closed, but not necessarily all Canterbury schools. Just repeating, all North Canterbury schools are closed, but not necessarily all Canterbury schools. And just repeating what Sam mentioned as well in terms of NCEA exams, if you are due to sit NCEA exams from Canterbury to Wellington, it's going to be decided upon on a case-by-case basis by individual schools, whether they feel their buildings are safe to hold exams in. So you need to call your school. And if you're not sure, if you can't get through to the school, turn up. Turn up ready to sit the exam, and then you'll find out when you get there. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with you shortly to continue our coverage of the severe earthquake which hit New Zealand around midnight.
This week's Off with a Bang. We're in Chinatown.
I want to thank all of you for tuning in. We are going to continue with this broadcast, and just bear with the commercials here as we document everything that's going on. I do this for everyone so that if you're in a hard affected area, that you can have the assurance you can come on my channel and be able to see live information of what is going on if I'm able to provide it. I do this because I care for you guys, and I don't want to see anyone caught off guard. So I'm merely trying to look out for your guys' safety and well-being. This is my backup channel. If you have not yet subscribed, I ask that you please do so. I had a copyright strike on my original channel, and going through all the process of getting things switched over until I can beat that copyright strike. So with that, folks, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of the day. God bless.
Gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out, I want to sing and shout, take a look and see a beautiful morning.
With over 400 flights a day across 21 destinations, Air New Zealand makes it easier for you to see more of the country.
Had too much sun on the weekend? Perhaps you should visit MoleMap.
Don't your eyes feel dry after a long day? You're wearing contact lenses, right?
My contact lenses feel like nothing.
Ask your optometrist for your free trial of Dailies Total One.
Harrison's premium brand solar sale is on. Our lowest prices ever. Premium LG starter packages from a crazy $5,999. Why buy budget when you can buy premium brand solar for less? Call for your free assessment and start saving now.
What are the chances of you having melanoma? Take the test at MoleMap.
For a limited time, the 7-seater Dodge Journey SXT is available at 0% interest. Pay a third now, a third in 12 months, and the final third in 24 months. And the Dodge Journey SXT 3.6-litre automatic is all yours.
Don't die wondering. Call now to book a checkup with MoleMap.
The Warehouse asked New Zealanders what Christmas feels like to them.
Christmas feels like camping with the family, eh?
Yeah, my dad's chilled out.
Hey Dad, how's it going?
Yep, nice, thank you.
Christmas feels like I get to play Santa.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Mr. Williams!
Christmas feels like we've got the time to be in our own world.
Christmas feels like spending time together with family. Friends drop by and we normally have a barbecue together.
Christmas feels like a memory that I have. I come from a large family. My elder brother bought this huge Christmas tree with lots of lights. It was just fantastic, yeah.
Christmas feels like I've been waiting all year long.
Number 28 on the Jetstar 50.
Sorry for all the commercials, folks. I'm hoping that there'll only be a few more after this. We'll just bear with it until we get back to the broadcast here.
At jetstar.com/50.
Welcome back. It's just after 8 o'clock and you're joining us for extensive coverage of the severe earthquake which struck New Zealand just after midnight, 7.5 in intensity. The extent of the damage in Kaikoura, which appears to have been the worst affected area, is becoming clearer. These aerial pictures are just in. This house has entirely collapsed and a landslip is covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. A 7-person, there's the slip there, absolutely enormous. You cannot imagine how long it's going to take to clear that slip. Those, of course, are the tunnels through which you travel when you're on State Highway 1 in that area. A 7-person urban search and rescue team is on its way from Christchurch in a helicopter to assist with the emergency response there. Military helicopters have also been deployed to help. We do know that the Elms homestead on State Highway 1 in Kaikoura has collapsed, killing 1 person. Earlier this morning, another person was pulled from the rubble alive. Here is the very latest information. As we just mentioned, an urban search and rescue team is expected to arrive in Kaikoura shortly to assess the damage there. The coastal town currently has no water or sewage. A person has been confirmed dead in a building collapse there, and there's been another quake-related death in Mount Lyford after someone suffered a heart attack. Schools and early childhood centres from North Canterbury through to the Wellington CBD will be closed until the buildings have been checked. Today's university exams have also been postponed in the capital and Manawatu. Wellington residents are being advised not to go into the CBD today, with all train services cancelled. Kiwi Rail has also suspended services. All trains on the North Island main trunk line, south of Palmerston North and in the South Island have been cancelled until further notice. Cook Strait ferries are also cancelled all day, with damage at Wellington and Picton Wharves being assessed. The fire service says TSB Arena and BNZ Centre on Wellington's waterfront have sustained the most damage. Right, well, people around New Zealand have had a sleepless night after being jolted out of their beds just after midnight.
It was horrible. It started off with just a little bit of a roll, and then it must have lasted about 40-45 seconds.
It's quite bad. Our suspended ceiling has come down with a lot of our lights, and there's a lot of stock on the floor.
It was pretty scary. We were up in our room and I woke up and my husband was saying something to me, and I didn't know what it was. I was asleep until I realized the building was flexing and twisting and shuddering, and then I didn't even know if I wanted to put my feet on the floor at that point, and all I could think was get out.
It felt like turbulence on an airplane. We've never experienced anything like that before.
Like my house was on a bungee cord, boom, 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 backwards and forwards. It's just a massive roll. It was quite scary. It seemed to go on for quite a while. And then we just packed up the car, grabbed the kids and the dog.
We were on the second floor and just felt the movement. My husband didn't actually wake up to start with. I think it's a quake wake up. And
it kept going for quite a while. The quake was quite slow to start off with, then built up to quite a high one.
Got woken up just on midnight or just after. Long rolling, felt like we were on the water.
Mate, it just woke me up because I was deep sleeping and just bed kept on rocking, and man, so I just got straight out of bed and jumped on my bike and see how my mates are.
Oh, my young sister woke up and she was saying something about moving and all that, and I said, well, we're on a ship. I was dreaming, and we're not on a ship, and all the ceiling was moving above us and the cupboards. So we flew out of bed and ran downstairs in our pyjamas.
The whole hotel was asleep, and my mum was saying, earthquake, earthquake. So we jumped up and stood in the door for a few seconds and then headed down the stairs very quickly. And the whole building was swaying. We're on the 8th floor tonight, unfortunately, so we're not going back up in a hurry.
And there have been dozens and dozens of very, very strong aftershocks. Reports of one through just a few minutes ago, 5.6 in magnitude, just 15 kilometres east of Kaikoura. So they are continuing. St John has deployed a number of paramedics and rescue helicopters across North Canterbury. While exact details of the number of casualties isn't yet available, of course, they're still getting their emergency services into the area. They've launched their National Crisis Control Centre in Auckland. And joining us live from the centre now is Incident Controller Norma Lane. Good morning, Norma. Look, what can you tell us about how difficult it is getting people into the area?
Hello, morning, Hilary. Yes, it's been really challenging for our crews and our staff to get into the Kaikoura, Culverton and Hamner Springs area because of the access to the centre there, and also getting information for the casualties and status of the situation. We were able to get one of our officers into the scene quite quickly, and we've had excellent support with our helicopters, military, police and other stakeholders and DHB colleagues. So we're coordinating a response to support the team there and also to evacuate casualties, and also supporting the staff in the Kaikoura hospital.
So how many staff are you trying to get on the ground right now?
So we're trying to get about six or seven into Kaikoura itself, but obviously the staff are having to be helicoptered in as well. So as many staff as we can, and also to make sure that, because this is looking like a protracted incident, that we need to make sure that more people are coming on duty to help. But I've been really impressed with how responsive all of our staff and our volunteers have been to come forward to help.
It's extraordinary. The pictures that we're seeing right now are of massive landslips that are covering State Highway 1. And of course, that would be the way you would normally go into an emergency situation, isn't it, by road? But that's just not feasible right now.
That's right. And as soon as we got those reports about the access and the road, that's what triggered our escalation, because there's obviously several levels when we start getting information, and in receiving that level of information about access made it, warrant a higher escalation level.
Okay, Norma, thank you for your time this morning from the National Crisis Control Centre in Auckland. Obviously, a huge logistical nightmare just trying to get emergency services personnel into the region. Now, I'm going to talk now with Professor Ken Elwood from the University of Auckland, who is an earthquake expert, and we've been focusing on the emergency response for most of the morning. But let's talk about this type of earthquake, because it seems to have been quite different from the original Canterbury quakes.
Yeah, it was quite a complex earthquake, actually, rupturing up toward the north. So really the impacts are really from Kaikoura up toward Wellington. My focus particularly is in the earthquake engineering, the buildings, the bridges, the infrastructure that may have been impacted. Of course, it's early days in hearing the reports on the full impacts, but of course we can expect tremendous impacts to older buildings and infrastructure that maybe were designed before we considered earthquakes in our design codes.
And do you think that there are a lot of buildings and bridges that would fall into that category?
There's certainly many buildings along the sort of the main streets of rural New Zealand that fall into that category, and we've seen some images already today of some impacts to those types of structures. And as the days go on, of course, we'll get engineers out there inspecting those buildings and determining their safety.
And one blessing, if we can call it that, would be that, if you think of rural places like the main street of Kaikoura, and we haven't had pictures from there yet, but if there has been destruction, the fact that people would not have been out on the streets, that they were safely home in their beds.
Yeah, I was in the Christchurch CBD when in February 22nd, and that when it happens in the middle of the day, it's a very different story. You're absolutely right that people were safe in their homes. Generally, homes are safe. They might get damaged, but they're generally safe for the people inside. And so this certainly is a blessing of this earthquake.
So what are the sorts of things that engineers will be looking for today when they go and look at those bridges and buildings?
They'll be looking for the damage patterns, and some damage patterns are more concerning than others. And but that the earthquake engineers are well trained, and the Kiwi engineers are among the best in the world, given the experience and the first-hand experience of Christchurch, of course, has trained them up.
Let's go back to this earthquake and this fault line. Did it occur on the same fault line as caused the Canterbury quakes?
I don't believe so, but it's early days in terms of understanding the exact mechanism. It was, I understand, quite a complex mechanism, and that's part of the reason for the long duration of the event. But it is early days in terms of determining the exact.
But people can certainly expect to feel aftershocks for some time to come. And it's hard to gauge how long, isn't it?
Yes, as we know from the Christchurch sequence, it can go on for a very long time. Whether or not this is going to extend for such a long period, it's yet to be seen.
Fantastic. Ken Elwood from the University of Auckland. Well, John Dauber, Hanmer Springs Foursquare is on the phone. He says it's business as usual there today. Have you got everything back on the shelves, John?
Yeah, I came down to the store straight away once I sort of made sure the family was all right, and I just knew we had to get these doors open for a small community and the only supermarket in town. So that was the focus, and it went really well. I had a band of volunteers come off the street, come in to help, which was just tremendous actually. And the floor's a bit sticky, but our doors are open, and we're trading.
How's the community feeling there? Because you were, you're pretty close to the action.
Everyone's just pretty shaken up. It was quite a nasty thump for quite a while. So everyone's on. We were on tender hooks, but everyone's out and about, and thankfully, from what I hear here in Hanmer Springs Village, everyone's safe.
And much damage where you are?
There's no structural. I've seen no structural damage. I think sort of a lot of people just their houses just lost valuables and that sort of thing, falling off shelves and that sort of thing, similar to what our place is. But as in structure, I haven't seen anything or heard of any structural damage in the village.
John Dauber from Hanmer Springs Foursquare, thank you, and let's hope the aftershocks don't affect you too badly there. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with you shortly.
I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in. We're still going to keep the broadcast going as long as they keep providing new information, so that way we can document everything that's going on. I want to thank everyone for coming to the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, I ask that you please do so now. I'm currently fighting a copyright strike on my original channel, so I had to create this in order to be able to live stream, because I can only upload videos on my original one at this moment. So with that, we'll go ahead and get back to the commercials. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of the day. God bless.
MeadowFresh. Love the good.
Do it for them. Get your child covered for free with NIB Health Insurance. If you're a parent, get NIB's top private hospital plus by December 31 and we'll cover one of your little whippersnappers for free. Hurry, offer ends 31 December. So buy online or call us on 0800 123 NIB.
At Countdown, you could shop and win with this week's Christmas specials. Huggies Convenience Pack Nappies, any two for $14. Selected Griffin's Chocolate Biscuits, $2 each. Plus, you could win a daily prize of $10,000. Until Sunday at Countdown.
Parcel Leave is a new way to get your parcels delivered. Now you can have your parcels left at home, even if you're not there to sign for them. You can even tell us where to leave them. By the front door, out the back, under the barbie. It's up to you. Just use your parcel tracking number. Find out more at nzpost.co.nz/delivery choice. Want to choose how you get your parcels delivered? You can.
The all-new Wet and Forget Rapid Sniper nozzle for accurate long-distance application.
over 2 stories. Fast and even spread for large areas. Moss moulding gunge no match for this predator. Wet and Forget Rapid, exclusive to Wet and Forget. Purchase online or at a Wet and Forget store near you.
Howdy! Kiwis sure love Waddy's tomato sauce. And now there's a new sauce in town. It's straight from the grill. It's Waddy's new smoked hickory. Is it smoky enough for you, sir? Sure is, Mikey. Beautiful. Good kick about it. How's it taste? Delicious. Good. This'll get your barbecue smoking. Thoughts? Oh, you can't beat it, Mikey. You can't beat it. Great for marinated chicken. Can you taste the smoked hickory? It's beautiful, Mikey. Beautiful. Waddy's new smoked hickory. Smoking.
Autocar Magazine's class-winning SUV, the Rexton Sport 402. 2.7 diesel auto, 7 seats, media centre, and can tow a massive 3.2 tonne. All for just $39,990. Rexton Sport 402 for a limited time only from Sangong.
The Hello World Cruise Expo is here. Sail away with amazing deals and on-the-day special offers. Plus, be in to win a 7-night Queensland cruise holiday. The Cruise Expo, Sky City, Sunday, 20th of November.
It's 17 minutes past 8 and you're joining us for extensive coverage of the massive earthquake that hit New Zealand. 7.5 in magnitude north of Christchurch. Kaikoura at this stage appears to be the worst affected area. We have seen pictures of huge slips across State Highway 1 and buildings collapsed completely. We have 2 confirmed fatalities. Let's go live now to Sam Clark in Christchurch, who's at a refuge centre where the community's been gathering there too after a very scary night.
Yes, Hilary, relief here at the Linwood Evacuation Centre as the last of the people, some who have been here since 3 a.m. this morning, are finally allowed to go home. Civil Defence have now downgraded the marine warning that stopped members of the public going back to their homes if they were within 1 kilometre of the coast. They can now go back, and I can assure you there were quite a few smiles that came along with that news. But as everything wraps up here today, let me just tell you what I've seen here is no doubt a masterclass of resilience and community spirit for Christchurch. These are people who have done it before and know how to band together quickly, and everyone is much better off for it.
So just repeating the news that you've given us, the coastal warnings, the tsunami coastal warnings have been downgraded. People should still stay off the beaches and off the shore, but it is now safe for them all to return home.
In Christchurch.
Yes. The true horror of the damage in Kaikoura is now becoming clearer. These aerial pictures just in show a house entirely collapsed, looking like a bomb site. You can also see a huge landslip is covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. A 7-person urban search and rescue team from Christchurch is now believed to be on the ground there to assist with the emergency response. Military helicopters have also been deployed. Now, we do know that the Elms homestead on State Highway 1 in Kaikoura has collapsed, killing 1 person. Earlier this morning, another person was pulled from the rubble alive. And the area continues to be rocked by aftershocks. Some of them are massive as well. This map shows the most severe ones. There was the original quake just after midnight, a magnitude 7.5. And since then, a couple of 6.2s and a 5 near Kaikoura. And we just had a 5.9 at 8 o'clock as well. Well, 19-year-old Taylor Cleaver lives in Parnassus, which is 12 kilometres north of Cheviot. Her family slept in the car last night because they decided it was the safest place to be. Oh, you're on the... Are you there?
Hi, yes I am.
What a terrifying experience you've had.
Yeah, it was. It was really bad.
So take me through how this earthquake felt, because, my goodness, you were very close to the epicentre.
Yeah, it just, all of a sudden there was just this massive bang and then just shaking. It was so intense. I just tried to get to safety.
And it lasted for quite a long time, Taylor.
It felt like ages.
And so tell me, how many of you in the family and what did you do?
there was 5 of us, and we just got to our doorways, and my dad had to go get my sister because she was really terrified. She couldn't get out of her room.
And how old's she?
She's only 9.
So she was terrified.
She was. She had to hide under her blankets and call for us.
So you all got out of the house now because you just felt that, you know, that was safest to get out of the house.
Yeah, there was just stuff falling everywhere.
And has your house been extensively damaged?
No, there's no actual structural damage to it, which is really lucky.
Yeah, that's great. And so you slept in your car just outside the house, did you?
Yeah, just outside. We just felt it was safer than going back in.
Yeah, well, when I say sleep, I mean you sat in the car probably, because after an experience like that, nobody's going to sleep, are they?
Yeah, no, I didn't get much sleep at all.
No. And so you're back in the house now?
Yeah, we started tying up all the stuff this morning.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that the house appears to have suffered no major damage.
Yeah,
and
really
take care, Taylor.
Okay.
What a terrifying experience for so many people in the Quake region. We have an update on the tsunami threats for you. A threat remains in place for Napier to north of Dunedin, Cook Strait coastal areas in the Chatham Islands. The threat for all other regions has been lifted. However, all previous threat regions will experience unusually strong currents for some time. So a downgrading there. GeoNet's John Ristow is on the phone. Good morning, John. What more can you tell us about this earthquake itself? Because it seems quite different from anything we've experienced in at least the last few years.
Yes, this earthquake, it's been a little bit unusual in that we've had the main shock itself has been, around by Kaikoura, but a lot of the aftershocks, most of the aftershocks have been much further to the north, all the way as far north as Seddon. And there have been quite a few large aftershocks. As you pointed out, we have more than 60 that are 4.5 or larger, and there have been at least 3 that are magnitude 6 or larger.
It's absolutely massive. What does that tell you about this earthquake when you say that the aftershocks are so much further north than the epicenter?
Well, what seems to have occurred with this earthquake, so we have the actual epicenter, that we've located has been around Kaikoura, but there appears to have been a great deal of movement that's actually occurred to the north, all the way up, all the way up to Seddon, in the actual during the actual earthquake. So we think that there actually may have been possibly what we would call a slow earthquake that happened before the one that everyone felt really strongly.
Okay, so I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
So do we feel like there was movement north of Kaikoura?
Yes,
and then that sort of set off the big thing in Kaikoura?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's caused all of these aftershocks that have occurred to the north.
So what do you expect to happen from now?
Well, it's a little bit difficult to say how this aftershock sequence is going to play out. It's probably not likely that it's going to be something like Canterbury, where it goes on for years and years and years. But we'll still be feeling aftershocks, and probably quite significant aftershocks for weeks, possibly even for several months with this. But we still have to study things a bit more carefully to get a better handle on how the aftershock sequence is going to play out.
Well, we look forward to hearing more about it, because I'm sure people on the ground are dying to hear your thoughts on exactly how long those aftershocks are going to last. GeoNet's John Ristow, thank you for your time this morning. We'll check in with you a bit later. We're going to take a brief break now and be back with coverage of the massive earthquake which hit New Zealand just around midnight.
Well, that was quite interesting to hear his statements on that. I'd be curious to hear what Dutch Sense response would be to that. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to keep with this broadcast. There are going to be some commercials throughout. We're just going to bear with it as we document everything that's going on. I know they've shared a few repetitive pictures. However, they keep adding a little new information in each time. So I don't want to miss anything that's important for not only the people of New Zealand to see, but others who are, concerned about their safety and, making sure they're all right. So with that, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, God bless.
Oh, Santa, when will you be here?
AE Paul, the very best of Prince Tui Teka.
I'm actually going to mute this here so I don't get a copyright strike, because that definitely would give me one, the music. So just give me a moment here as I keep the volume down on this, please.
Gorgeous gift sets that are sure to delight. Helping you give well this Christmas at Life Pharmacy.
If you love a good deal, then get a new low-rate MasterCard from KiwiBank. It has the lowest purchase interest rate of all our credit cards. And right now, there's no account fee for 12 months. Apply online using promo code KB123.
Right now, you are writing the story of your life. And you have to ask yourself, would anyone want to read it?
On delicate body parts, skin is more sensitive and needs more gentleness. New Veet Sensitive Precision, the first device from Veet specially tailored to gently shave your delicate body parts. Its cunning blades don't touch the skin, so no fear of cuts, and great results. Change heads to trim and shape with gentleness and precision. Wherever you go, new Veet Sensitive Precision, gentleness and precision for your delicate body parts.
Some things are so personal,
Do you find that other people's children never look quite right?
they can only be experienced
We love to go out because it convinces ourselves that our lives don't suck.
in front of
A
thousands.
little bit of a war going on with you and the box of cookies at night. I was just going to have a couple of no down the whole run.
Jerry Seinfeld live on stage, Saturday, August 12th, Vector Arena. Tickets on sale 10 a.m. Monday, November 14th at Ticketmaster. Tour details at tegdainty.com.au.
2017 UK and Europe travel on sale now with House of Travel. Fly to Europe from $8.99 per person when you book a Europe Summer 2017 Trafalgar trip. But that's not all we've got. Bring your ideas into House of Travel. We'll help you get there. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. It's just before 8:30 and you're joining coverage of the severe earthquake that hit New Zealand just before midnight, 7.5 in magnitude. And we've been hearing incredible stories of communities coming together right around the South Island and in Wellington, people who felt the earthquake, had to move to higher ground because of the tsunami threat, going to evacuation centres, and everywhere, so much goodwill, people looking out for each other, which is why when a story like the one that has just come across my desk comes to me, you just feel absolute heartbreak. A family who fled the New Brighton home with their disabled child returned to find their property had been looted. Can you believe it? Melissa Miller and her husband were shaken awake by the earthquake this morning. They decided to leave their home for safety reasons. They have two daughters. The youngest has muscular dystrophy, which is why they left, because they thought it was safer if anything happened that they be out of their house, like if there was a tsunami. The family left their Bower Avenue home at 2 a.m. and returned 5 hours later to find it ransacked. They came up the driveway, their work truck was gone, the front door open, the television and export other property, including their youngest daughter's wireless microphone system, which she needs for a hearing impairment, all gone. So that is a very sad state of affairs. But largely in communities around the South Island and Wellington, everyone has come together to support each other, and just so very sad to hear a rogue case of looting there. We have an update on the tsunami threats for you right now, and a threat remains in place for Napier to north of Dunedin, Cook Strait, coastal areas and the Chatham Islands. The threat for all other regions has been lifted. However, all previous threat regions will experience unusually strong currents for some time. Caitlin Runnock is on Wellington's waterfront and she's joined by Martin Johansson. Caitlin.
That's right, Hilary. As you were just mentioning before, everyone has a quake story this morning, Martin included. He probably wasn't expecting to have a quake wake-up call this morning or to then end up speaking to me. But here we are, Martin. How are you feeling now, several hours on from this?
Oh, it's okay this morning, but it was pretty scary last night.
Can you tell me a bit about that when you woke up this morning?
Wake up normally and you get the normal earthquake during the night, and it's just a shake and you think, how big is it going to be? And then all of a sudden the whole place is moving completely way bigger than normal. Next thing you know, you're thinking off the bed, on the floor, next to the bed, so everything falls down, you don't get hit on the head. And we're quite a new apartment, so we thought it would be quite safe, but the movement was quite big. A few of our neighbours have had some really major damage inside. Our place has got quite a few cracks and a bit of damage done, and all the glassware's come down just like you see on the telly normally. So we're just doing a bit of a clean up last night. A lot of the neighbours are not actually in the building. I think they all left last night. We're outside here on the street for a couple of hours.
Right after the quake?
After the quake. Just we can't go in when the alarms are on. And the fire service was pretty busy, so by the time someone got here, turned off, it'd be about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Then the people that stayed went in and you could see different ones cleaning up for the lights outside. And just about 4 o'clock, that was it, off to bed, and just hopefully not too many shakes in the night.
It's pretty brave of you to say, off to bed again. I can imagine that some people wouldn't really want to be going back to their rooms again.
I think, as I say, I don't think many people went back in the building last night. We had a lady who got stuck on the 10th floor, and some people went up and got her out. And her place was 10 times worse than what mine looked. She had her wash machine fallen down and a dryer come down, and it just looked like the whole place had been picked up and shaken upside down. So I'm only on the 6th level of this apartment block, and all our neighbours were okay, so they all came down together, sort of thing.
And now it's really just the clean up today, isn't it? So that's definitely on Martin's agenda for today. He's done a bit of that cleaning already, but many more to come for sure.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. And just repeating for everybody in Wellington, I'm sure you will have heard the news by now, but all train services are cancelled. There are no backup bus services. The ferries aren't running either. And the advice from officials is to stay out of the CBD. They have over 100 buildings to check, just to check out the structural integrity as they send in a team of engineers. It'll take some time, but the message, as I said, is do not go into the CBD today. Well, this is the moment the quake struck, captured on Snapchat by some residents of Mount Cook in Wellington.
Oh, she's a big one. I've got it on Snapchat. Earthquake. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, my gosh.
Obviously, some severe shaking in the capital, which is hundreds of kilometres away from the epicentre of the quake. The magnitude 7.5 quake centred in Cheviot in the South Island struck just after midnight. And GeoNet reporting just to hand that huge earthquake looks like two separate earthquakes, which is why we are seeing aftershocks in two locations. And this is what we just heard from John Ristow, wasn't it? That they are thinking that we've got lots of aftershocks in and around Seddon. So they believe there was an event in and around Seddon, and that this huge earthquake is a secondary earthquake. So it's fascinating. But the scientists say they can't give us all the answers at this early stage. They will be spending a lot more time looking into it. Well, for a handful in the capital, they had a very interesting experience spending a night in Parliament after being evacuated from their hotels. Katie Bradford, I'm a little bit jealous. What an experience.
You can come spend a night in Parliament anytime, Hilary. Most of these people here, there's probably over 100 people who spent the night here after evacuating from hostels and hotels around the central city, Thorndon area. Many of them have their sleeping bags with them, and they were given breakfast this morning here at Parliament. They arrived about 3 a.m, basically organised by the hostels and parliamentary services here, brought in, slept down on the ground floor. This is normally where people come and start their tours of Parliament Parliament. It's not where they normally come and sleep. For some of the families behind me, it was even a kid here from Morrinsville. It was his 12th birthday today. The family were here for a bit of a holiday, meant to be out shopping for his Christmas presents. Instead, they'll be heading home this afternoon. So, you know, really not what you expect, but at least Parliament was here, one of the safest buildings in the country, so at least they felt safe.
Yes, indeed. And are they all set up? I mean, where did all the pillows and the sleeping bags and everything come from?
Well, a lot of them were staying at a hostel down near the waterfront, probably about 5 minutes walk down the road, and they've brought that up with them. And it sounds like those hostels and hotels, as well as Parliament, have been extremely helpful in giving them some of that gear and helping them out as much as they can. And I think Parliament is still saying, look, people can come here. I was actually just down the road a little while ago on the terrace, and I saw a backpacker walking down there with all her gear. She'd just arrived from an overnight bus from Taupo and had nowhere to go. She was trying to find a hotel, basically wandering empty streets looking for somewhere to go. And so I think there are a few people around like that now. A lot of people now trying to get out of Wellington though as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sorry, just going back to that tourist. So you took her under your wing and took her up to Parliament, did you?
I suggested she was trying to find a local hotel. I gave her my business card because her phone went flat while we were talking.
You're
and just
such a
encouraged her to
sweetie.
get in, encouraged her to get in touch with me. And I'm sure people around Wellington and around the country you know, I've seen that on Twitter overnight. Most of us, I'm sure, have been up all night trying to help people and looking out for that, making sure people are safe, offering them places to stay if need be, because really, I mean, everyone comes together, as we all know, everyone comes together in situations like this and helps out where they can, which is what we've seen here at Parliament
exactly.
as well.
Parliament leading the way. Yeah. It's lovely to see.
And I mean, here at Parliament, people are just starting to arrive at work. I just saw a minister arrive, but the lifts aren't working. They're really taking this seriously about where you can and can't go. But down here on the ground floor, it is pretty safe.
Great stuff. Katie Bradford reporting there from Parliament, where Parliamentary Services worked in with local hostels for those who were evacuated from local hostels and took them in for the night, which is just delightful, giving them breakfast, cups of tea as well. Well, Ministry of Civil Defence and Emergency Management Director Sarah Stewart-Black says people should expect aftershocks and they should remain vigilant.
We urge people to stay safe. Stay in high ground away from the coast or inland in order to make sure themselves and their families remain safe. We've issued a tsunami land warning, which is for the East Cape down to Southland, including Wellington, and also for the Chatham Islands, and a marine and beach warning is in place for the rest of New Zealand. People should expect to experience aftershocks. We are working closely with local authorities, emergency services, government agencies across New Zealand to ensure that our communities are provided with the right information and are supported during this response.
Well, many schools are affected. Here's what you need to know, especially if you're sitting exams today. Schools and early childhood centres from North Canterbury through to the Wellington CBD will be closed until the buildings have been checked. NCEA and New Zealand scholarship exams will go ahead if your school has not been affected by the quake. If you have been impacted, an emergency-derived grade process is available to reduce any disadvantage to the students. Today's university exams have been postponed in the capital and Manawatu, but will go ahead in Auckland. Okay, so NCEA students, did you get that? If your school is in the earthquake zone, maybe it's from Wellington right down to Canterbury, your school may or may not be open. So the decision on whether you sit NCEA exams today will be made by your school, not the Ministry of Education. So call your school, find out whether you'll be sitting your exam today. If you're not sure, turn up at school anyway, expecting to sit it, and they'll be able to tell you then. We're going to take a brief break. We'll be back with you shortly with more coverage of this huge earthquake that hit New Zealand around midnight.
This week on 2020,
this can cure all these diseases.
The so-called church
is under no law
with a so-called miracle cure.
for cancer, autism.
MMS is an industrial chemical.
It's got links here in New Zealand.
This is scary, dangerous stuff.
We go undercover to expose the truth.
Are you harming people?
You people are bull liars.
Plus, the incredible story of the fake French aristocrat.
How is this possible? It's just unbelievable.
2020, Thursday, 9:40 on 1, then on demand.
Back in the 50s, sod farmers invented hydroseeding as the easiest way to grow beautiful grass. But you're still doing this. You want a great-looking lawn, but have dry spots, dog spots, high traffic areas, and shade. What a nightmare. You seed, water, and wait, but the only thing growing are the weeds. It's no wonder the seed gets washed away, blown away by wind, and eaten by birds. Not anymore. Introducing the revolutionary Hydro Mousse Liquid Lawn. With spray and stay technology, the grass grows where you spray it. Start growing with ease. If you can water your lawn, you can hydro seed. Simply attach to any garden hose.
For those that are just tuning in, we're at a commercial break right now. It's probably going to last a couple minutes, and I greatly appreciate the patience as we go through this until we can get back to the live stream. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. God bless.
The seed locks in place, even upside down, and the grass grows like crazy, even on a vertical wall. It grows in extreme heat or cold conditions. It's perfect for dog spots, high traffic areas, large areas, and shade. And no more guesswork. Hydro Mousse includes a mixture of high-quality seed that blends perfectly with your existing lawn. It's never been faster or easier to get professional results at a fraction of the cost.
So why pay a fortune for sod or seed the old-fashioned way when you can get the complete Hydro Mousse kit to bring your lawn back to life? That's enough to do 100 spots or 50 square feet. But wait, call right now and we'll double the coverage for free. That's right, absolutely free. That's an incredible 200 spots or 100 square feet. So call 0800 008 009. Don't put up with this when you can have this. Call 0800 008 009. This offer is not available in stores, so call now.
If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
Fill those stockings this Christmas at Warehouse Stationery. Get this Huawei smartphone for only $149. Save $120 on this Razer chair. And get this HP notebook for just $749. It's Christmas made special at Warehouse Stationery.
Had too much sun on the weekend? Perhaps you should visit Mole Map.
Did you know that our free in-home consultation brings the showroom to you, so you can choose the best options, styles and colours in your own home? Call Santa Fe, the shutter and blind experts.
What are the chances of you having melanoma? Take the test at Mole Map.
Get started on their wish list at the Farmer's Toy Sale. For the little performer, the selfie mic is now $24.99. And the Nurse Mega Mastodon is half price. Shop in store or online once the kids have gone to bed. Only at Farmer's, your Christmas store.
Don't die wondering. Call now to book a checkup with Mole Map.
At Rosine, a little test pot can go a long way to helping you choose a colour scheme. And more test pots than anyone else means more choice at your Rosine colour shop.
Number 33 on the Jetstar 50. Experience the magic of hot air ballooning above the Canterbury Plains. Get more out of your weekend with Jetstar's 50 must-do experiences. Find yours at jetstar.com/50.
Welcome back. It's 16 minutes to 9 as you join our coverage of the massive earthquake that hit New Zealand overnight, just after midnight, 7.5 in magnitude. The true horror of the damage in Kaikoura is now becoming clearer. These aerial pictures just in show a house entirely collapsed, looking like a bomb site. You can also see a huge landslip covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. Now, a 7-person urban search and rescue team is on its way from Christchurch in a helicopter to assist with emergency response there. Military helicopters have also been deployed to help. We do know that the Elms homestead on State Highway 1 in Kaikoura has collapsed, leading to the death of one person there. And earlier this morning, another person was pulled from the rubble alive. New Zealand Transport Agency's Mark Owen says people should stay at home if at all possible.
For the top of the South Island. And also State Highway 7, the Lewis Pass from Waipara. It's the junction of State Highway 1 through to Springs Junction, which is where 65 joins State Highway 7. And State Highway 7A, which is the road that leads into Hamner Springs. We've had early reports, so we've had crews out overnight trying to do the initial assessment and trying to assess the extent of the damage. We've got crews up in the air at the moment doing the aerial assessment. So once they come back with their information, we'll be able to sort of collate all that and decide where best to attack it from and get our resources on the ground to start the clean-up operation. They won't be able to travel on the highway at the moment, so please stay at home. Unless it's an extreme emergency, then you'll need to just contact the emergency number. And our crews will be working as hard as we can to try and at least get one lane open on some of those highways, subject to the extent of damage that we find.
Well, here is the latest information you need to know. An urban search and rescue team from Christchurch is in Kaikoura to assess the damage. The coastal town currently has no water or sewerage. Roads and tunnels are cut off by large slips, enormous slips. A person's been confirmed dead and a building collapsed there. And there's been another quake-related death in Mount Lyford after someone suffered a heart attack. Schools and early childhood centres from North Canterbury through to the Wellington CBD will be closed until the buildings have been checked, safety checked. Today's university exams have also been postponed in the capital and Manawatu. Wellington residents are being advised not to go into the CBD today, with all train services cancelled. There are no backup bus services either. KiwiRail has also suspended services on the main trunk line south of Palmerston North and in the South Island until further notice. And Cook Strait ferries have also been cancelled today. Civil Defence says it's not yet safe for people to return home in coastal areas between Blenheim and Banks Peninsula and the Chathams, which are areas still at risk of a tsunami. However, Christchurch evacuees are now able to go home. Wellington's Mayor Justin Lester is on the phone now. And Justin, have you got a better idea of the extent of the damage in your city now?
Yes, we have, Hilary. It's largely superficial damage. However, we have had a number of buildings that will need to be evacuated and some buildings won't able to be entered. And we've had some significant liquefaction around areas of the waterfront. Rail services aren't operating, but we hope that in the fullness of time we'll be able to get people back into the CBD tomorrow.
So I'm interested in the liquefaction. How widespread is that? I mean, I know where the reclaimed land is. How widespread is the liquefaction? How deep is it?
It's, again, largely in pockets and along various different areas of the waterfront, largely along the reclaimed land. So for those people that know Wellington, so anything from Lambton Quay essentially down to the waterfront is reclaimed land, and the terrace and behind that's up on a cliff and on rock. So those are the areas that have had the most significant damage, and waterfront buildings, some of the newer ones, they've been more significantly affected. But for the most part, Wellington's sustained little damage. We just want to make sure we clean up and get people safe and then confident and back into the CBD in the fullness of time.
Yeah, and when you say the fullness of time, you don't mean today. You want everybody to stay away today, is that right?
Yeah, we prefer and strongly advise that people don't come into the CBD today because we need to undertake these assessments of buildings. So we don't want people going to buildings that are at risk of damage or things falling down, even if it's minor things. And we're not having rail service operating this morning. There aren't replacement buses. The ferries aren't working either. So again, it is likely to cause some traffic chaos, particularly if you're coming in from the Hutt Valley. So therefore, we strongly advise that people stay at home and look after families.
You say it's mainly superficial damage. Are you feeling rather relieved, given the pictures that you've probably seen, like all of us, coming out of Kaikoura?
I am, and certainly my heart and sympathies go out towards the people of Kaikoura and the Huranui district as well. So we are relieved. I did realise it was a significant shock. I mean, we felt it was very long, it was deep, it woke me up in the middle of the night. And when I realised that the epicenter was as far south as Canterbury, certainly we recognised there's probably likely to be significant damage in that part of the country. So my thoughts were with them.
Well, welcome to your new job as well. I don't imagine you expected to be dealing with this sort of crisis so soon into your tenure.
Well, no, it's never the plan. However, we are well prepared in Wellington. We've always known, we live on a fault line. We've got major fault lines running through the city. We've always been prepared to expect the unexpected. So our emergency operating centre has been operating since shortly after the earthquake. We've got some bleary eyes here at the operating centre. People have been working through the night, but they're doing a fantastic job, and we've got full confidence in their ability.
Justin Lester, Wellington Mayor, thank you. Well, the Prime Minister says officials will meet later this morning and he'll travel down to quake-hit areas with the Minister to offer support, but he does say it's a balancing act.
that ODESC officials will be meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. They'll be able to give us the the best information we have at that point. Cabinet will continue to meet today as expected, and then at that point, my expectation is that the Minister and I will go down to Kaikoura and any other parts that we think it makes sense for us to visit. Always with these situations, it's a balancing act between making sure that you're providing people support and assurance, which we want to make sure New Zealanders understand they will have the full support of the government. But on the other side of the coin, making sure that we don't impede any efforts that are being undertaken on the ground to get people back on their feet.
Well, right across the South Island and in Wellington, in areas that have been hit hard by the quake this morning, communities have been coming together, supporting each other, and it has been a time of incredible goodwill, except for one case that you may have heard me refer to earlier, which was the case of a family who evacuated their home and then came back to find it had been ransacked and that things had been stolen. And New Brighton resident Matt Mill is on the line now. You were the one who returned to your home in Christchurch. You evacuated and then came back to find a whole lot of your stuff had been stolen.
Yeah, that's correct.
This is just heartbreaking. You cannot imagine somebody doing that to you.
No, we sort of didn't really know what to do after the earthquake, and then just on social media and listened to the radio, and they sort of said about the tsunami, and we thought our youngest daughter's in a wheelchair, so we thought we'd pack her up and get to somewhere safer. So that's what we did, and then come home about 6:30 and pulled up the drive and noticed my work truck was gone, and drove around the back, and the range slider was wide open and knew exactly what had happened. So it was pretty gutting, to be fair.
Well, it's not surprising. That is absolutely heartbreaking. What else did they take? They took your work truck.
Took my work truck, so obviously they've used that to load our stuff in. They've taken TVs out of the kids' rooms and out of our lounge, and the gaming consoles, DVDs, just all electronic, GoPro, tennis racket, just computers.
And the reason that you left the house was mainly because of your disabled daughter, because you were afraid if there were indeed a tsunami, that it might be harder to get her out of the house.
Definitely, we just made a call and loaded the van up, threw the sleeping bags in and everything in her wheelchair, and got her in. She didn't even wake during the earthquake, which was surprising, and woke her up and told her what had happened, and got her in, and then thought we were doing the right thing, and then come home to this was, they've taken, she's just got a new FM system for her hearing aids, which we've waited a while for. This it's called Roger, and they've taken that, which is no use to anyone bar Alicia. So she's going to high school next year, which she was pretty happy with her new device.
Yeah, I bet she is. Look, Matt, there won't be a person listening to you who doesn't want to help. We all want to help. So let's have your truck rego so everybody can keep an eye out. Do you know your truck rego number?
Yep, it's EPP.
EP Papa? EPP?
Yep, 79.
EPP 79. Right, we're going to find this truck and we're going to get Alicia's gear back for her. Because how old is she? She's 12?
12, yeah.
Okay. We need to turn this around because this has broken my heart. It will have broken everybody's heart. Right. We need to get Alicia's gear back. Listen up, everybody. EPP 79. We're going to get your truck and hopefully that will lead us to the gear.
Excellent.
Matt, send Alicia our love and we will do what we can this end. I have a funny feeling the community will rally around and make things right.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We will return with coverage of a huge earthquake which has hit New Zealand at midnight last night.
She's being made to jump through hoops. The fact that she's just given me.
I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in. We're going to keep the broadcast going and documenting everything that's happening because I'm probably going to make a second video so I can pull the certain clips out that I want. Because I'm able to do that with the times and I can't do it unless I do it like this. I do want to say, though, I'm very happy to see the positivity that a lot of people in New Zealand have. I mean, it's just a different class of people, and it's really nice to see the heartwarmingness that people have, towards helping others and making sure they don't have to suffer more than they already do. And as someone who suffers myself, it's just nice to see that. So anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And as always, God bless.
Burglars. Exceed check your property for likely entry points and fit security measures all in one visit. They are security profiled and use strict lock-up procedures. Exceed are my pick for window and door repairs.
You know that person, the one who seizes the day, shines full of life, never stops inspiring. They're a force of nature. At Nature's Own, we search the world for potent ingredients because nature can be a powerful force for your health. And we want to help everyone get the strength they need to be a force of nature. Join us and discover their stories at naturesown.co.nz.
Fill those stockings this Christmas at Warehouse Stationery. Get this Huawei smartphone for only $149. Save $120 on this Racer chair. And get this HP notebook for just $7.49. It's Christmas made special at Warehouse Stationery.
We're looking for a big green section in the CBD.
Whatever your grand plan, get our great rate with a home loan from ANZ. Talk to us today.
If you have dry, sensitive skin, you may be frustrated looking for the right skincare. Well, the QV range of washes and moisturisers is gentle enough to use every day. QV is so good because it works with sensitive skin, sealing in natural moisture and giving extra hydration and nourishment. pH balanced with no soap, fragrance or irritants. QV is as good for baby's skin as it is for yours. Care for sensitive skin with QV.
Get ready for Christmas with great club card deals at New World. There's soft Vogel's bread now 2 for only $7. And stock up with nutritious Whitey's peaches, apricots, pears or fruit salad now 4 for $5. Love Christmas at New World.
For a night out, every woman has her own little secrets to make herself feel beautiful. Now, they all share a common secret, the innovation from Shoal, the electronic nail care system for your toe and fingernails, with 3 heads for filing, buffing and polishing, and a nail care oil for naturally shiny looking nails and soft cuticles. Discover the secret of beautifully shiny nails. The electronic nail care system from Shoal.
All the best brands, direct from the factory, here at Discount Tyres. Auto grip tyres now from a low $65. Goodyear Triple Max Fuel Savers from $129. And Michelin Pilot Sport 3 from just $199. Discount Tyres, quality brands at factory prices.
It's nearly 9 o'clock and we'll be remaining on air in the meantime with coverage of this huge earthquake that hit New Zealand, 7.5 in magnitude near Calverton, centred 15 kilometres near Calverton. And we're going to go to that small Canterbury town right now because we have pictures just in of the damage to roads. This is being sent to us from our Christchurch newsroom. The pictures show inside the local 4 Square store as well. See, you can see the huge chasm on the road there. This is the local store in Calverton where everything has been shaken from the shelves. A big cleanup job facing staff there. Now, roads north of Calverton have been blocked with rockfall closing parts of State Highway 70. Major rockfalls blocking State Highway 70 just north of Rotherham and south of the Waiau River. So huge damage to roads there. You can't see them being open anytime soon. Anne McLean lives near the epicentre. She's just outside of Waiau and she's on the phone now. Good morning, Anne.
Oh, good morning.
Oh my gosh, talk us through this earthquake.
Oh, well, I don't know quite what to say, actually. I think I'm in a bit of a sort of wandering round in circles. But it was actually interesting just listening to your talking before you. I've probably learnt more from you than I actually know here. Of course, we don't have electricity or power or anything, so we're sort of hearing lots of things, but we don't know quite what right and what's not, to be honest.
Well, it's been enormous, and everybody was saying that it lasted a long time. Those who felt it say it was much longer than the other Christchurch earthquakes.
Yeah. Well, we were actually down in the February Christchurch earthquake. We were in our car at the time, so we were sort of quite cocooned, I think, from it. But it was, well, yeah. You recall, you kind of lose it a wee bit, but it felt very rolly. Whereas this one, I was in bed and you were sort of like I couldn't sort of sit up or get up. It was sort of seemed to just sort of come from everywhere and shake you, you know, in every direction. It just felt quite different. I don't.
Now, is your house okay?
Yeah, our house is pretty good, Hilary. Actually, structurally it seems quite good. We've got a weatherboard house and had a new roof put on it, and apparently that sort of holds it in good stead. But inside it's just carnage. Like there's nothing. The sofas are still sort of standing up and a big table, but otherwise everything else is upside down. Ovens are sort of ripped out and the fridge is ripped out and everything's broken. So we're just amazed that, you know, our house seems to be all right. And I sort of believe that's not the situation for everyone, which is really unfortunate for them.
Yes.
So there's all sorts of different stories. Yeah.
You've got other family members there as well. How are they coping with the shock of last night?
Not very good. The children weren't at home, but John's parents live up the road, and they've been very pragmatic about it all actually, and you know, just getting sort of on with it and cleaning up. And I think with the Christchurch earthquakes, it's, you know, it's still a shock, but you know, we kind of know what the drill is a wee bit, and you know, we know we're taking photos and you know, doing a little bit of documentation of the damage and that sort of thing. So it's sort of, I think the process is almost a bit easier for us.
Yes, although I suppose it must be frustrating too, knowing that you're having to call the insurance assessors again and going through that whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. But certainly we rang ours this morning and they were, great. They said just take some photos and just get on with it and clean up, and which is lovely because it would be nothing worse if you felt you had to sort of leave everything as it was, because of course all you want to do is try and get it back to normal again, really, or as much as possible. So, but and some pretty, you know, some of our neighbours, we're certainly really feeling for them, especially the dairy farmers whose sheds aren't operational. And,
no, that's a worry, isn't it?
That's a huge worry because you've got a real sort of animal welfare issue going on with that. So, you know, you don't want cows that you can't milk because, of course, it's, you know, not comfortable for them at all. So, yeah, definitely very much feeling for a couple of our neighbours.
And Anne, are you cut off where you are? Have you got road access still?
No, I believe we haven't. The main bridge into Waio apparently has sort of tipped up at both ends. And from what I gather, our other way that we can get out has a bridge. And I think the council are actually doing sort of safety checks on that now. So it's currently closed to the public, but we're sort of fingers crossed that we might be able to get out that way and do a detour around there.
Well, do you need us? Do we need to organise a food drop, or have you got enough in the freezer in the meantime?
Oh, food drop? What have you got on offer?
Well, I can organise. I know people. So I can organise whatever you need. I can organise the helicopter. No, I'm just concerned that you might run out of food.
Oh, well, no, look, I mean, obviously sort of our freezers and things are full here, but of course we've got no power, so we're just sort of trying to organise a generator so we can salvage a bit of that. Of course, we've got a friend who's got a generator wanting to bring it up to us, but can't get it built at this stage. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation going on, really. But,
I hope they get those roads sorted out. But give us a call back if you need a hand. They've got military helicopters up in the air. We'll make sure you don't starve.
Oh, well, that's good to know. And I just have to say, you know, things like that you've just said, and just calls and texts that I've had, people are just amazing. They're so supportive. So
they are too.
Very appreciative of it all, really.
Oh, well, you take care, Anne, and good luck with the clean-up. It can't be easy.
No, thank you.
Cheerio.
Okay.
Well, the 7.5 shake appears to have been 2 earthquakes. GeoNet has just advised us of this information. Experts are working to get more information, but they say that's why the aftershocks are being felt in more than one location. If you joined us earlier, we were speaking to GeoNet, and they were they found it interesting that there were so many aftershocks in and around 7. So they believe that there may have been an initial event in that northern area and that the second earthquake, which was the huge one, was secondary to that. But they're doing far more investigations on that. Here's the latest information you need to know. An urban search and rescue team is arriving in Kaikoura to assess the damage there. The town currently has no water or sewage. A person has been confirmed dead in a building collapse there. And there's been another quake-related death in Mount Lyford after someone suffered a heart attack. Early childhood centres and some schools from North Canterbury through to the Wellington CBD will be closed until the buildings have been checked. Today's university exams have also been postponed in the capital and Manawatu. Wellington residents are being advised not to go into the CBD today, with all train services cancelled. Kiwi Rail has also suspended services. All trains on the North Island main trunk line south of Palmerston North and in the South Island have been cancelled until further notice. Cook Strait ferries are also cancelled all day, with damage at Wellington and Picton wharves being assessed. The fire service says TSB Arena and BNZ Centre on Wellington's waterfront have sustained the most damage. Well, the true horror of the damage in Kaikoura is becoming clearer as we get more pictures in. These aerial pictures show a house entirely collapsed, looking like a bomb site. You can also see a huge landslip is covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. A 7-person urban search and rescue team is on its way from Christchurch in a helicopter to assist with the emergency response there. Our military helicopters have also been deployed to help. We do know that the Elms homestead on State Highway 1 in Kaikoura has collapsed entirely, killing one person. Earlier this morning, another person was pulled from that rubble alive. We're going to take a short break. Just before I go, I do want to let you know that we're making a few developments on that story I told you about of the family who had their house looted after they evacuated. More on that after the break.
Get distinctive styling with the Kia Soul Urban SUV for just $26,990. This versatile one.
I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in. We're just going to keep the broadcast going here and document everything that's going on. The commercials usually last about 2 to 3 minutes. They've been sharing different stories of what had taken place with the earthquake, and they do repeat some information. However, they keep sharing new information, and I want to make sure that we're able to catch that and people can find out the information they want. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, God bless.
The active ingredient of Flow is derived from New Zealand kiwi fruit. It's got natural enzymes, prebiotics, and fibre, and it's
Creamy, velvety, and made from free-range eggs. Heinz Seriously Good mayonnaise is seriously good. Which is why she's taking yours. Heinz Seriously Good mayonnaise. Seriously good. Seriously irresistible.
Don't suffer any longer. 3B helps stop chafing and the discomfort of sweat rash. Try our new 3B body powder. Neat 3B Action Cream and Body Powder. Available at leading pharmacies.
Wow, is all I can say.
I can do anything.
Let imagination take you anywhere with the new sets from Lego Duplo.
Have you booked your Mike Pero wake-up call yet? Find out today what your finance options really are. We do all the work so that you can wake up feeling great. Visit mikepero.co.nz. Lending criteria apply.
Ouch. Ouch. Women simply seem to accept that wearing high heels comes with discomfort. Give your high heels the sneaker feel with the latest innovation from Scholl. New gel-active insoles for high heels. Ultra-thin and in different shapes, they even fit into slender shoes while staying almost invisible. It never felt so good to look great in high heels. New gel-active insoles from Scholl. And for extra comfort in flat ballerina shoes, use Scholl gel-active insoles for flat shoes.
Welcome back. It's 9:10 and you're joining coverage of the severe earthquake that's hit New Zealand. Just a hand regarding an NZQA update about NCEA and New Zealand scholarship exams. In light of this morning's earthquake, say NZQA, New Zealand scholarship examinations today have been postponed at all schools or exam centres. Sorry, I'm puffing because I just went outside. New Zealand scholarship exams provide recognition. Yeah, got all that. All NCEA examinations will continue as per normal and proceed today at schools that have not been earthquake affected. Okay, so scholarship exams are off. NCEA exams will continue as per normal if your school's open. So call your school and just check. Well, you should be there by now. But anyway, you'll sort it out at your school because it's being done on a case-by-case basis. The true horror of the damage in Kaikoura is becoming clearer right now. These aerial pictures show a house entirely collapsed, looking like a bomb site. You can also see a huge landslip, which is covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. A 7-person urban search and rescue team is on its way from Christchurch in a helicopter to assist with the emergency response there. Military helicopters have also been deployed to help. We do know the Elms homestead on State Highway 1 in Kaikoura has collapsed, killing 1 person. Earlier this morning, another person was pulled from the rubble alive. We have more pictures filtering in from Kaikoura just now. This clip showing the huge mess inside a home after the quake, with furniture and belongings thrown into a big pile. Dozens of people have gathered outside the local hospital. It's not yet known how many people are being treated for injuries. To more quake damage in Wellington City, and a brand new block of apartments on the Wellington waterfront has been hit hard. Look at this. This is the interior of one of them, and we're told the entire block has been affected, and it's a similar picture throughout the building. For a handful in the capital, they had a very interesting experience, though, spending a night in Parliament after being evacuated from their hostels. Katie Bradford joins us now live with the details. Katie, what an interesting night they've had.
Yeah, I don't think many people have had much sleep here at Parliament, although there are a couple of people still rugged up in their sleeping bags, fast asleep, despite the commotion that's been going on here as people arrive to work. Security have been checking the safety of Parliament buildings. There's a lot, as you walk around Parliament, there's a lot of plaster fallen down. Some of the artwork has fallen down. In the TVNZ office, even one of our computers had fallen on the ground, and our water cooler is down as well. But here on the ground floor of Parliament is probably one of the safest places, if not the safest place in Wellington to be, and that's why these people were evacuated here overnight. Parliamentary services have welcomed everyone in. They've given them breakfast of cornflakes and muffins and fruit, and just ensured that they were safe and warm and had somewhere to sleep.
And how long are they likely to stay there for?
Well, some people have left. There was a group of Filipino tourists who got picked up a little while ago. I was speaking to some backpackers from Belgium who were hoping to go and visit Te Papa today. They won't be doing that, obviously. Other people who were here on holiday have just simply gone home. But I think, you know, people are just in a bit of a wait and see how bad things are, see where they can go. With no public transport going, it's difficult. And at least if you're here, you know you're safe and warm. I haven't felt any earthquake, any aftershocks since I've been here at Parliament for the past few hours, whereas overnight we were feeling them all night. So I can say if you do want somewhere to go, this is the place to be.
Thank you so much, Katie, reporting in there from Parliament, where they have taken in some earthquake refugees. Right, let's go to Sam Clark in Christchurch. You've also been at a refuge centre this morning, Sam. Has everyone gone now?
There are still some people milling around here, Hilary, but while this is undoubtedly a tragedy for some of the smaller regions north of Christchurch, especially Kaikoura, there is some small relief for the people here of Christchurch that for once the city hasn't borne the brunt of this now deadly earthquake. But you really don't have to go far for reminders of how bad it can be. Not 5 meters away from me here at Linwood College, there's a bench, and on that bench is a plaque which commemorates the life of a student which was cut short in the February 2011 earthquake. Today, the halls of the school will be empty, including the hall next to me, which was meant to play host to students sitting their NCEA exam. While some of those students may be breathing a sigh of relief that they get to dodge that exam, others will be breathing a sigh of relief remembering just how bad it can get.
Yes, indeed. And we can confirm that there have been 2 fatalities in this massive earthquake, one after a homestead in Kaikoura collapsed entirely, a person trapped in the rubble there, and also another fatality, which was an earthquake-related heart attack. Well, the Prime Minister says the government is well prepared financially, having learnt from the Christchurch quakes. However, he foresees major costs around roading and infrastructure.
Look, we're in great shape. I mean, obviously, EQC, had significant drawings on its funds because of the Christchurch earthquakes. But I mean, I think everybody knows that the books are in good shape. So I'm not at all concerned about our capacity to meet any costs. There will be, I would imagine, quite major costs around roading and infrastructure that will be damaged. Bound to be pipes and things. We know that from Christchurch. That when you get a movement in the earth of this sort of magnitude, then it damages core infrastructure more than you're initially aware of, and it's more expensive to rebuild. But we're quite within our financial capacity to deal with all that.
Well, people around New Zealand have had a sleepless night after being jolted out of their beds just after midnight.
It was horrible. It started off with just a little bit of a roll, and then it must have lasted about 40-45 seconds.
It's quite bad. Our suspended ceiling has come down with a lot of our lights, and there's a lot of stock on the floor.
It was pretty scary. We were up in our room, and I woke up, and my husband was saying something to me, and I didn't know what it was. I was asleep until I realized the building was flexing and twisting and shuddering, and then I didn't even know if I wanted to put my feet on the floor at that point, and all I could think was get out.
It felt like turbulence on an airplane. We've never experienced anything like that before.
Like my house was on a bungee cord, boom, 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 backwards and forwards. It's just a massive roll. It was quite scary. It seemed to go on for quite a while, and then we just packed up the car, grabbed the kids and the dog.
We were on the second floor and just felt the movement. My husband didn't actually wake up to start with. I think it's a quake, wake up. And
it kept going for quite a while. The quake was quite slow to start off with, then built up to quite a high one.
Got woken up just on midnight, or just after. Long rolling, felt like we were on the water.
Mate, it just woke me up because I was deep sleeping, and just bed kept on rocking, and man. So I just got straight out of bed and jumped on my bike and see how my mates are.
Oh, my young sister woke up and she was saying something about moving and all that, and I said, well, we're on a ship. I was dreaming, and we're not on a ship, and all the ceiling was moving above us and the cupboards. So we flew out of bed and ran downstairs in our pyjamas.
The whole hotel was asleep, and my mum was saying, earthquake, earthquake. So we jumped up and stood in the door for a few seconds and then headed down the stairs very quickly. And the whole building was swaying. We're on the 8th floor tonight, unfortunately, so we're not going back up in a hurry.
So in so many parts of the country, the community has been coming together, taking care of each other, and you'll remember the story that sort of went well and truly against that, of the family who fled their New Brighton home with their disabled child, who returned to their home to find it had been looted. We spoke earlier to Matt Hill. He's Alicia's dad. She has muscular dystrophy. She is in a wheelchair, and they carried her out of the house because they were worried there was a tsunami warning, and indeed if there was a tsunami that they wouldn't be able to get out of the house quickly enough. So they left their home and they came back at 6:30 this morning. They left around midnight, came back at 6:30 this morning to find that his work truck had gone and that a lot of their goods had been stolen. So some absolute scumbags out there. Anyway, we're going to make it our business to do the job right for them. And God bless you, you're just fabulous out there. We've already had people offering to give money to kick off a fund to help replace what was stolen from Matt Hill's house. Also more on the work truck, because if we find the work truck, I think that may lead us to the stuff that was stolen. It's a grey Mazda Bounty. It has a canopy and roof racks. The registration is EPP79. So that's EPP79, a grey Mazda Bounty. Let's put this right. I think we can fix this thing. Right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with you very soon with more coverage of this huge earthquake.
I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to keep with the broadcast here and deal with the commercial breaks. That was a very heart-wrenching story when you hear everything that happened with that father and his, or father and mother and their child. I'm just glad to see that people are trying to reach out and help them in this time of need. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I ask that you please do so. This channel had got, or my original channel had got shut down to a false copyright strike. So I had to create this backup channel in order to be able to live stream. So I don't have the subscribers that I had over there. We're just kind of working with it the best we can and trying to get the truth out so people can see what was going on. Our hearts and prayers are with you all in New Zealand, and we hope the best for you and that you're staying safe. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless.
Allostop's chewable tablets work fast and can be taken alongside other medications. Allostop is well tolerated and suitable for breastfeeding or pregnant women and children over 3. For a natural, effective solution, head to your local pharmacy or health store and ask for Allostop.
You'll really love the feeling of a flooring extra floor. So come and get that feeling today.
Where are we going, Dad?
Well, with Grandma away on holiday, she's asked us to feed the cat.
So glad Mum decided not to sell the house. It meant she could buy a new car. Nice. Renovated bathroom. And she doesn't have to worry about her mortgage repayments anymore. Mum's living the life she deserves.
If you're 60 or over, call Heartland Seniors Finance about a reverse mortgage today.
Introducing new generation Expert Genius and Expert Ultra insect control. 3 different timings. Adjustable spray volume, plus 24-hour light sensor technology. Eliminates flies and mosquitoes. No waste. Look for Expert in stores today.
Yep, you can never have too much protection. No, it wasn't enough.
Toyota's got you covered with a huge 5 years free servicing, warranty, AA road service and WAF checks. Wrap up your deal at Toyota today.
Double glazed windows aren't just good in winter, you know. Let's see why. Oh, baking. Okay, here we've set up an infrared camera showing the difference in heat transfer between the single glazing and the low E double glazing onto these tiles. You can see more heat is transferring through the single glazing. Quite a difference. And scientific proof that with retrofit double glazing, you'll get a cooler, more comfortable home in summer. Low E glass also cuts UV rays, so your curtains and couches will be happy. And when it comes to noise, the news is good too. Single glazing, and now with double glazing, hear that? If you are considering it, make sure you talk to experts. These guys at Retrofit here are part of Metro Performance Glass, so you get state-of-the-art quality with years of experience upgrading windows, whether existing joinery is wood or aluminium. So double glazing, good all year round. Just visit the website retrodg.co.nz for an obligation-free quote.
24 minutes past 9. You're joining us again for our coverage of a huge earthquake that hit New Zealand at midnight last night. Here's the latest information you need to know. The beach and marine threat has now been lifted for the Bay of Plenty, but people in coastal areas are still being advised to be cautious and to stay away from the water. Kaikoura appears to be the worst hit at this stage. An urban search and rescue team has arrived to assess the damage there. The town currently has no water or sewage. A person has been confirmed dead after a building collapsed there, and there's been another quake-related death in Mount Lyford after someone suffered a heart attack. New Zealand NCEA scholarship exams today have been postponed right across the country. All regular NCEA exams will continue as normal at schools not affected by the quake. So just call your school if you're not sure what to do. Wellington residents are being advised not to go into the CBD today, with all train services cancelled. Kiwi Rail has also suspended services. All trains on the North Island main trunk line, south of Palmerston North and in the South Island, have been cancelled until further notice. Cook Strait ferries are also cancelled all day, with damage at Wellington and Picton wharves being assessed. Well, to the small Canterbury town of Culverden, and these pictures have come in from our Christchurch newsroom just in the last little while. They show the road damage there, huge cracks along the road, and you can see that is why officials have been forced to close the roads, and also inside the local Four Square store where goods have been shaken from their shelves. A big clean-up job facing the staff there. Roads north of Culverden have been blocked, with rock falls closing parts of State Highway 70. Now, major rock falls are blocking the State Highway 70, just north of Rotherham and south of the Waiau River. So as you can see, huge chasms there in the road. Entire communities are cut off this morning. The true horror of the damage in Kaikoura is also becoming clearer. These aerial pictures show a house entirely collapsed, looking like a bomb site there. You can also see a huge landslip covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. So many of us have driven those roads before, the beautiful coastal road, and just enormous landslides there. A 7-person urban search and rescue team is on its way from Christchurch in a helicopter to assist with the emergency response. They're on the ground. Military helicopters have also been deployed to help. And we know that the Elms homestead on State Highway 1 in Kaikoura has collapsed, killing 1 person. Earlier this morning, another person was pulled from the rubble alive. Now, we do have more pictures filtering in from Kaikoura. We're just going to take a look at those. This clip showing the huge mess inside a house after the quake, with furniture and belongings thrown into a big pile. 7.5. This is the biggest earthquake to hit New Zealand in years and years and years. Dozens of people have gathered outside the local hospital. It's not yet known how many people are being treated for their injuries. 2 more earthquake damage in Wellington City, and a brand new block of apartments on the waterfront in Wellington has been hit hard. This is the inside of one of them. We're told the entire block has been affected. It's a similar picture throughout the building. Inter-island ferry services have been halted for the day as they look to assess any damage caused. General Manager Mark Thompson says they'll be in touch with commuters if anything changes.
Until we can make sure that our facilities are safe to sail, we are not operating. Our terminal facilities are closed until Centre Port and Port of Marlborough assess are fit to operate. Like everyone in Wellington and Picton at the moment, stay at home, wait for the latest news. We're keeping in touch with all our customers and making sure that they're fully informed. Once we can operate, we will operate, and we'll make sure that we get them to where they want to go as quickly as possible.
John Dorber from the Hanmer Springs Foursquare says people are going about their day after a rather scary night.
Everyone's just pretty shaken up. It was quite a nasty thump for quite a while. So yeah, we've been on tender hooks, but yeah, everyone's out and about, and thankfully, from what I hear here in the Springs Village, everyone's safe. There's no structural. I've seen no structural damage.
We'll be taking a break now and returning with more coverage of the huge earthquake.
She's being made to jump through hoops. The fact that she's just given me no contact is not acceptable. So we're writing in to save the day. Thank you. You're welcome. Almost want to cry.
Plus, our toilet rolls are getting smaller. Yeah, we've got the dirt on toilet paper.
I told my friends and they poo-pooed the idea.
There you go. Tonight, 7:30 on One, then on demand.
Stay tuned to find out how to get an amazing Bambillo pillow. Absolutely free. Falling asleep is easy, but staying asleep can be a problem, especially if your old mattress keeps you tossing and turning all night long. You could spend big money for a new mattress, or you can refurbish your bed better than new with the Bambillo Comfort Fit mattress topper. It's more than just an ordinary topper. It's a complete comfort fit system. It's unlike anything you've ever slept on. In fact, it's so incredibly comfortable. Once you lie down, you won't want to ever get up. The reality is, no matter how expensive a bed or mattress you buy, over time it can break down, lose its firmness, support, shape and elasticity. You toss and turn, searching all night long for a comfortable spot, and that's when you wake up sore and tired. But once you try the ultra plush velvety soft Bambillo Comfort Fit topper, you can rest assured 100% that you'll sleep like a baby. The secret of this amazingly comfortable mattress topper is the fantastic Comfort Gel foam material. It's brilliantly designed, featuring core cushioning microcells to support your spinal column, neck, shoulders, back, hips, knees and joints, constantly relieving those hypersensitive body pressure points. So no matter what position you sleep in, the Bambillo mattress topper can deliver the ultimate comfort for a peaceful slumber, night after night. The Bambillo Comfort Fit mattress topper also features impact-sensitive material. This motion-sensitive material is specifically designed to keep the body cradled and protected from those nightly sleep disruptions such as tossing, turning, and even getting in and out of bed. The Bambillo Comfort Fit mattress topper allows you to choose your pad thickness up to 7 centimeters, which is nearly double the thickness of ordinary mattress toppers. Plus, it comes with these handy elastic corner straps and anti-slip grip pads on the bottom. So no matter how much you move, the Comfort Fit topper never slips or slides off your mattress. And the ultra-soft removable cover is completely machine washable. You can't do that with most ordinary mattress toppers. You can take an old and worn-out mattress and turn it into a luxurious sleeping surface. So if your mattress is old, worn out, worn down, lumpy, clumpy, or even bumpy, then you've got two choices. Buy a new mattress and spend a small fortune, or refurbish your bed and make it better than new at a fraction of the cost of a new mattress with the ultimate comfort material of the Bambillo Comfort Fit mattress topper. You can get your very own Bambillo Comfort Fit topper in your choice of king, queen, king single, or single, simply by calling 0800 008 009. Restore the comfort of your old mattress for less than the price of a good set of sheets. Be one of the first 33 orders, and we'll include the legendary Bambillo pillow. It's yours absolutely free, but you must call now on 0800 008 009. We must limit it to one topper per person, so don't miss out. Call now while supplies last.
Tonight.
Interference? It's coming from the Samaritan laptop.
A threat.
I know what you're thinking, but it's far too dangerous.
They can't see.
We need to get out of here now.
No!
Then, will the truth finally come out?
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm the devil, remember? I'm evil.
No more lies. No more metaphors. I need you to be honest about who you are.
Are you sure?
Lucifer follows Person of Interest. Tonight from 8:30 on 1.
It's just after 9:30 and we're back with rolling coverage of this huge earthquake which has hit New Zealand overnight. And Caitlin Ruddock is joining us now from Wellington, where there has been plenty of, we hear from the mayor, pretty superficial damage, thankfully, and nothing too serious at first glance.
No, not at all, Hilary. As we were driving through the CBD on our way here to the south coast, it seems to be that a lot of the damage has been internally, has been all the stuff loose, obviously, as you find an earthquake shaken up. But external damage there has been, you know, fair and far between of seeing that a little bit of glass and concrete around and about. But on the whole, cleanup is generally underway and there's not a lot to see. Things are back to normal for a lot of people as well, apart from the fact that a lot of businesses are shut for the day. Bus services are back again, so people actually be able to kind of get around town, although the public are still being asked that if they don't need to be in the CBD, to stay away. It should be noted, though, that a tsunami warning is still in place for parts of the country. That includes the Cook Strait and also Napier, north of Dunedin and the Chatham Islands. And, of course, those other regions where there was a tsunami warning, that those have been lifted, but it is advised that there are going to be strong currents. There's expected there's going to be strong currents there. So the message is remaining the same. Stay out of the water, stay away from the water, and keep listening to local authorities. And I might add that we are, although we are on the south coast, looking out to the Cook Strait here, we are at an elevated position, Hilary.
Thank you. I'm glad. Safety first, Caitlin. That's what I always say, right? Hey, now, absolutely. I'm interested to talk more about Wellington because it's going to be a bit of a ghost town today because everybody's been told to stay at home and there's no public transport really, is there?
No, but in saying that, I don't think a lot of people actually want to be inside. It was interesting. I was speaking to a couple of guys out at an apartment on the waterfront, and we're talking about who's still inside or cleaning up. Residents seem to say that there isn't many people inside at the moment, so I'm not entirely sure where they've all gone to. But my thoughts would be that in a time like this, in a situation like this, you do want to kind of meet up with people, whether it's just exchanging stories or kind of processing the day. Perhaps they are congregating in different parts. We'll be having a look out at some cafes, I can imagine, will be busy. The ones that are open, that is, Hilary, because as you say, there are a lot that are shut up shop today. It's not a lot to do.
No, that's right. No train services, bus services or ferries today. OK, Caitlin, thank you so much. To the small Canterbury town of Culverden Down, these pictures are in from our Christchurch newsroom. They show the local roads, which have huge gaping holes in them. This is just a crack, but we have other pictures which show massive chasms in the road, and that is going to take a long time to repair. This is inside the local Four Square store. As you can see there, groceries all over the floor, so that'll be a massive clean-up job for the staff there. Roads north of Culverden have been blocked, roadfall closing parts of State Highway 70. So you can see some of the rocks there, and also huge landslides along State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. There's another road that is looking the worse for wear, and this is just one section of road. It's going to be like this all over that region, and of course, because it's cut off, Kaikoura is cut off by a huge landslip. You know, they can't get in, officials can't get in to exactly ascertain how bad the damage to roads is. And the true horror of the damage in Kaikoura is becoming clearer as we get pictures in now that the sun is up and we're able to get a helicopter in the air. These aerial pictures showing a house entirely collapsed. We're not sure at this stage if that is the Elms homestead where somebody perished in the rubble. And you can also see that huge landslip earlier covering the tunnels on State Highway 1 near Kaikoura. So many of us have travelled those roads, haven't we? That beautiful coastal road. You get the ferry in from Picton, you drive down to Christchurch, and you go through those tunnels, such a picturesque drive, and now massive landslides covering the road. And you just cannot imagine, having seen those pictures now, that road is going to be open anytime soon. Massive landslide. A 7-person urban search and rescue team is on its way from Christchurch. They're already on the ground to assist with the emergency response there, and military helicopters deployed to help as well. It's understood that the Prime Minister may be on one of those helicopters going into the area. We know that the Elms homestead collapsed and a person perished in that rubble earlier on, and another person was pulled from the rubble alive. Well, Kaikoura MP Stuart Smith says the community is banding together to support each other.
Yes, it's a difficult time. I mean, the community is coming together, and you know, thoughts go out to the that it should happen. But you know, we really just have to deal with what's in front of us now. But the community is coming together. People are really getting in behind and one another and supporting one another, and that's really the measure of a community.
And now we do have an update on the tsunami warnings for you. A threat remains in place for Napier to north of Dunedin, Cook Strait, coastal areas and the Chatham Islands. The threat for all other regions has been lifted. However, all previous threat regions will experience unusually strong currents for some time, for up to 24 hours, they've told us. Right, let's look at the road closures in the South Island right now. State Highway 7 between Waipara and Hanma Springs is closed because of quake damage. State Highway 1 travelling north towards Kaikoura from Waipara is also closed, and you can tell why, because of that massive slip that we already saw. New Zealand Transport Agency's Mark Owen says people should stay at home if they can.
For the top of the South Island, we've got the Highway 1 closed from Picton right through to Waipara, just north of Christchurch, and also State Highway 7, the Lewis Pass from Waipara. It's the junction of State Highway 1 through to Springs Junction, which is where 65 joins State Highway 7, and State Highway 7A, which is the road that leads into Hanma Springs. We've had early reports, so we've had crews out overnight trying to do the initial assessment and trying to assess the extent of the damage. We've got crews up in the air at the moment doing the aerial assessment. So once they come back with their information, we'll be able to sort of collate all that and decide where best to attack it from and get our resources on the ground to start the clean-up operation. They won't be able to travel on the highway at the moment, so please to stay at home. Unless it's an extreme emergency, then you'll need to just contact the emergency number. And our crews will be working as hard as we can to try and at least get one lane open on some of those highways, subject to the extent of damage that we find.
And if you're not entirely sure on those road closures, you can go to their website, NZTA, it's nzta.govt.nz. The latest information will be there. Acting Civil Defence Minister Jerry Brownlee says they'll have a much better understanding of what communities need as more information comes in.
The assessment throughout the day of what's required to get communities back into good shape will continue. And also, of course, we want to know if there are any urgent medical requirements in those areas that are currently a little bit cut off. The pressing need is to get communications gear into those areas, and that will be the first task for the helicopters this morning. Until they make that assessment properly this morning, I think anything that was done in the dark is going to be literally a stab in the dark.
Acting Civil Defence Minister Jerry Brownlee there, joined by the Prime Minister, speaking earlier this morning, and they are intending to go to the worst affected region via helicopter later on in the morning. We'll be back very shortly with more quake coverage.
Well, with that, folks, I actually think I'm going to end the stream now and focus on some other things that are taking place in our world. I just wanted to give everyone a quick update as soon as live stream was available with information. So that way we could find out exactly what was going on and how many people were injured and the damage that was suffered. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I ask that you please do so now. This is my backup channel because my current channel is under a copyright strike. I was being falsely accused by YouTube, and I should have been able to stream what I did, but unfortunately I'm having to appeal it right now. So this is what we're doing as a backup until that can get taken care of. All the links are in the show more section below for what we've watched. And again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. So I hope you have a great rest of the day. God bless.